This is a story I've been wanting to talk about for a bit, and now we can. Theo Von, who is a prominent comedian and was pretty in Trump's camp during the campaign, like a lot of these Rogan-associated comedian podcasters, and he has a huge podcast, Theo Von. He was used in a video by DHS hyping their deportations. And he, to his credit, said, don't use me like that. I don't agree with a lot of what you're doing on the immigration policy front. And they ended up having to delete it. I'll show you the video. I'll show you some reporting on this. But first, I have to say, because Theo Von is one of those on the Epstein files and some other things, who's starting... What?
I thought you were saying he's on the Epstein files. Sorry.
This has never happened before where you laugh at it. It startles me. I missed the joke.
I thought you were accusing him.
Theo Von, he's in the Epstein files. He would have been during that era, like, so young. So, oh my gosh, whatever. Okay. So, no, he's turning on Trump because of the Epstein files thing. And other areas, like a lot of these Rogan associated, which is a hopeful trend, are feeling more critical of Trump. But it's hard not to say, as we get into this story, I wish that we spent a little bit more time pressing Trump during your interviews with him on things that would have given you a sense as to why later on, if he became president, you'd have a problem with what he's doing, instead of spending so much time on how hard does cocaine hit.
Well,
No, I would just do cocaine. That was really, yeah. So not just, yeah.
That's down and dirty, right?
Yeah, and it was, yeah.
But you don't anymore?
No, I don't do it anymore, man, and I'm not doing it.
Is it too much? Too much to handle?
Some of the stuff started to get a real rattle in it, too. I don't know where we were even getting it from in this country, but yeah, it started to make me feel like I was a mechanic or something.
So the thing you go back to then is alcohol for the most part.
Right, yeah, but what I want probably is cocaine, but I know that if I have a drink, then it'll be like, okay, well, I had a drink, then I can do this.
Is cocaine a stronger
oh, yeah.
up?
Stronger up than alcohol? Yeah, for sure. Alcohol takes you the other way. And I get, I'll play a little bit more, but I'm not trying to be, what's the thing that guy called me? What was it?
Soy boy beta cuck, Luke Beasley.
I'm not trying to be that. I'm not trying to be like, oh, you can never have with politicians just interesting personal discussions. And Theo Von comes across really likable in this clip. I'm just saying, to now see Rogan going, what is Trump doing? Just showing up instead of actually going after criminals. He's just grabbing some random hardworking person at a Home Depot and raiding those sorts of places and wasting resources on that instead of prosecuting actual criminal organizations, as we discussed the day on. And then people like Theo Von too kind of having that, wait, what? Trump, is he lying about that? And then you go back and look at their interviews and they're just such softballs. And it's like, oh, if you had some of the critical approach that you have now back then, maybe it would be in a different place. Because a lot of audiences were like, oh, maybe I'll vote for Trump. He's kind of likable and was talking about cocaine. Even though I don't snort cocaine.
Stronger
oh, yeah.
Up?
Yeah. Cocaine
so you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You'll be out on your own porch, Yeah. You'll be your own street lamp. You're freaking.
And is that a good feeling? Well,
no,
it's horrible. A miserable feeling.
But you do it anyway, just like the guy you're saying with the scotch.
Okay, so are you actually going to release the Epstein files? And then we'll get to the cocaine. Could have been a part of it, but whatever. So DHS posted this video on their social media accounts.
Heard you got deported, dude. Bye.
And by the way, it's citing their stats when this is what it's all for. When we talk about, oh my gosh, local law enforcement's short-staffed because so many people are going to ICE. Oh my gosh, they're not actually bringing at this stunning plummet prosecutions against drug conspiracy sort of schemes in drug trafficking. That's the word I was looking for. Drug trafficking scheme. And because so many resources are going to these deportations and detainments and raids, and why are they doing that? Well, they acted like in some cases we would prioritize dangerous criminals. Now they're just grabbing up whoever they can with no criminal record other than crossing the border legally and wasting a lot of resources on that, not to mention upending people's lives and economic damage. And the why? The answer to that question is this, just so they can put it in a video. Look, this large number of people, even if it's doing nothing to help our country, to help our economy, to be humane, and to make people safer. And in response to that video, because that was Theo Von saying bye, he said, yo, DHS, I didn't approve to be used in this. I know you know my address, so send a check, and please take this down, and please keep me out of your banger deportation videos. When it comes to immigration, my thoughts and heart are a lot more nuanced than this video allows. Bye. And they ended up, as you can see here, deleting the video. And then I saw Theo Von had this to say recently too. While you watch it, please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate this show. It's free, but it supports us algorithmically. It makes all the difference.
And I have a lot of thoughts about immigration, right? I have a ton of them. And we don't need to go into them all right now. I've talked about them on other episodes. I feel like they're doing a lot of bookkeeping in the country right now because we're going to get into a surveillance state and everyone is going to have to be on the books, right? So that's where I believe that we're headed.
Interesting. I agree that there's a lot of privacy concerns, and also we on the books. I'm on a book somewhere for sure. I think we're on the books, but they're gonna do more or like better books, digital books. But sometimes I hear about some of the privacy conversations, and I think it's a little naive to where we're already at. And I think on the Theo Von of it all, I think that Democrats need to learn from how the Trump administration, or the Trump campaign at the time, how Trump just kind of facilitated these more friendship-y bros hanging out appearances that made a big difference. And I know that's not a new statement. We've discussed it a lot. But then these same people were invited to the inauguration, and there was this attempt to make more personal bonds so that very prominent but not strictly political figures would just kind of go, I don't know, they're treating me really nicely, and throw the support behind Trump. And that's what caused this cultural vibe that shifted in his direction. A lot of young men were just kind of like culturally, I don't know, Trump's our guy. I saw him talking about cocaine on Theo Von. And that led to Theo Von. And maybe this is a little bit of a metaphor for his support for Trump at Trump's inauguration. He had this.
Oh, it happened. It happened. I said it would.
Fell out of his chair. So maybe it's sort of a lot of these people chose to sit on the Trump chair and it collapsed. And so now they have to choose what other chair. Maybe there's a different chair that has better stability. And I hope that they pick to sit in a different chair than you have this.
You want to hear something crazy? Trump, at the day of the election, Dana White told me he'd been up for 72 hours.
Unbelievable.
I go, how's that possible? He goes, dude, he's a freak. It's so weird.
Well, yeah, dude, I'll say some things. Here's things that, like, whatever you think about, there's things that the guy is as resilient. No one could go through all that shit. When the Justice Department started to fuck him over, that's when a lot of people were like, you know what? The only thing.
So you see, that's kind of how we got really detached from maybe more substantive discussions about why Trump was dangerous, and it became just, I don't know, he's a badass. I don't know. I heard Justice Department went after, and a lot of people who weren't super political before kind of shifted in that camp with a very low level of energy into that decision. It was just kind of like, yeah, natural shift. And I think it can shift the other way. And the fact that a lot of them are changing their tune recently, even going, delete that video, DHS, Trump, is hopeful. Also, are we going to admire him for being up for 72 hours? Do we want a president who stays up for 72 hours? I think you literally start going a little loco when you've been up for 72 hours. That actually does explain a lot of stuff, including him thinking that he struck a peace agreement between Albania and what was it? That was weird. Azerbaijan, I think was how he worded it, which is the subject of our next segment.